I had always known my best friend Jennifer for her open-hearted nature and the way she always welcomed everyone into her home. We met during college and stuck together through breakups, career changes, and the chaos of adulthood. So, it was no surprise when she invited me to spend the summer at her beach house in Florida, something she did every year as a kind of reset from the busy city life. What was different this time was that her son, Tyler, would also be there the entire summer. Tyler had always been that sweet, quiet kid who used to follow us around during his younger years. I remember helping him with homework when Jennifer was busy or cheering at his Little League games. But it had been years since I last saw him. He was now 19, tall, athletic, and carrying himself in a way that no longer resembled the boy I remembered. It caught me off guard at first. I felt strange noticing how much he'd changed, but I quickly brushed it off. He was still Jennifer's kid, and I was just Aunt Sarah to him. The first few days at the beach house were like a dream. The salty breeze drifted through the open windows, the sound of waves crashed just yards away, and life slowed down to a pleasant hum. Jennifer spent most of her days in town working remotely from a local cafe, while Tyler and I were often left to ourselves. He was respectful, helpful, and always asked if I needed anything when Jennifer wasn't around. One afternoon, I was reading on the deck, legs propped up on a lounger, soaking in the sun. I wore a simple sundress, nothing revealing, just something airy and comfortable. I had that feeling, the prickly one on the back of your neck, when someone's eyes are on you. I looked up and caught Tyler watching me from the sliding glass door. His eyes darted away the second our eyes met, and he disappeared into the kitchen. It was innocent, probably just a moment of distraction. He might not have even realized he was staring. I didn't want to make it weird, so I let it go. But it happened again. A couple of days later, I was folding laundry in the guest room. I turned and saw his reflection in the mirror above the dresser. He was standing at the hallway entrance, just watching quietly. I spoke up, lightheartedly. "Hey, Tyler. Everything all right?" He blinked, startled, then scratched the back of his neck and gave me a half-smile. "Yeah, sorry. I just didn't mean to sneak up. Mom said she's bringing food. Want anything?" I nodded, pretending that nothing about his behavior felt out of place. But inside, I was starting to wonder. Was I imagining it? Was I reading too much into things? The moment that really tipped the scale came during a stormy evening. Jennifer was staying the night at her friend's house in town, an old college reunion dinner that ran longer than expected. The rain battered the windows, thunder rumbled through the walls, and Tyler and I were inside watching a movie. He picked some action thriller, but about halfway through, I noticed he wasn't paying attention to the screen. He was sitting sideways, head resting against the cushion, his eyes on me more than the TV. I turned to him and asked, "You okay, Tyler?" There was a pause. His mouth opened slightly, as if he wanted to say something but couldn't decide whether he should. "You've been staring a lot lately," I added, keeping my tone playful but firm. He looked away immediately, the tips of his ears turning red. "I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." I gave a little laugh, trying to defuse the tension. "It's all right. Just talk to me if something's on your mind. Don't creep around like some haunted house kid." He smiled sheepishly, and the rest of the night went on without further incident. But that moment lingered in my mind. He wasn't just a boy anymore, he was a young man figuring things out, and maybe I reminded him of something safe or familiar. Still, it wasn't my place to entertain that kind of attention, even passively. A few days later, Jennifer noticed the quietness between us. Over coffee, she asked, "You and Tyler okay? You're usually good with him, but it feels like you're walking on eggshells." I hesitated. I didn't want to stir up unnecessary drama, but I also knew if the roles were reversed, I'd want to know. So I told her the truth, lightly, gently. I said that he'd been acting differently, that I caught him staring a few times, and it felt odd. Jennifer's face changed, from confusion to concern. "He's been through a lot since his dad passed. Maybe he's just seeking attention in weird ways. I'll talk to him." I felt a wave of guilt for saying anything. Tyler wasn't a bad kid. He wasn't doing anything explicitly wrong, he just didn't understand boundaries yet. Still, I was relieved when the air cleared after Jennifer's talk with him. He became less tense around me, more normal. Whatever conversation they had must have helped. A week later, something unexpected happened. I was cleaning up after dinner, alone in the kitchen, when Tyler came in and offered to help. I handed him a towel and let him dry the dishes. "I owe you an apology," he said quietly. "Not just for staring, but for being awkward. You've always been nice to me. I guess I didn't know how to handle that. You're beautiful, and I guess I didn't know what to do with those thoughts." His words caught me off guard. Not because they were inappropriate, he said them respectfully, almost nervously, but because they were so honest. I didn't know what to say at first. I just stood there, sponge in hand, while he stared at the sink. "I appreciate your honesty, Tyler," I finally said. "But it's important to understand the difference between admiration and action. I care about you like family, and I hope we can keep things comfortable without crossing lines." He nodded genuinely. "I understand. I just wanted to be honest. That's all." That was the end of it. No tension, no drama. Just a rare moment of growth for him and for me. Over the rest of the summer, things mellowed. He became more relaxed, more like the Tyler I remembered. Jennifer and I had our late-night talks again. Laughter returned to the house, and I no longer felt like I had to walk around cautiously. When it was time to return home, Tyler hugged me at the door and said, "Thanks for not treating me like a kid, even when I acted like one." I smiled and patted his shoulder. "You're figuring it out. Just don't forget that respect goes a long way." On the plane ride back to New York, I replayed everything in my mind. It wasn't the summer I expected, but it was real. It reminded me that people grow in unexpected ways, and sometimes, even awkward situations can lead to honest conversations and mutual understanding. In the end, what happened wasn't about scandal or shock. It was about navigating unfamiliar feelings with care, setting boundaries, and helping someone grow into who they're meant to be. That's something you don't always see coming. But when it happens, you don't forget it.